We'll come to the second and most important. As you can see, this is the content where I will be spending most of the time, encapsulation. The other things are almost like 1/3 of that. So we will come to encapsulation. So that is like the second and one of the most important object-oriented concepts. So here I will be covering these 4 or 5 things. And we will go only into as much details till what point you are able to follow. If at any point you feel that we have gone out of league or things are going more complex, we will stop at that point and go over to inheritance, because I have like structured it that way. So anyway, for our normal Python code standard, only this first 2-3 levels are required. Other things are like required if you want to implement higher programs like machine learning algorithms or TensorFlow, things of that you want to interact with the classes or like that, only those are required. So anyway, we will go into that. At any moment, if you have some doubts, you can stop me. So what is encapsulation? So encapsulation is a process of wrapping up variables and methods into a single entity. So that single entity, we saw that it is called a class, right? So the encapsulation is a process of merging or putting all those, that is people from different rooms you put in a single room, right? That's similar kind of concept. And it acts as a protective shield that puts restrictions on accessing variables and methods directly and can prevent accidental or unauthorized modification of data. And encapsulation also makes objects into more self-sufficient, independently functioning pieces. So these are like standard things that you get in interviews and all. What is encapsulation? What are the protections that you get by it? And what are the characteristics of once you put data members into it or attributes into it? So as you can see, I am trying to build upon my previous class human. So I am defining a function sleep here, and I am telling. So I will go like a trial and error method. I will try something out and it will give some error. Then I will say try to see how to correct that error. That way only we will learn, right? So we already learned how to define functions. So that way I will try to implement a sleep function here, and it will print human is sleeping, right? We will try to execute that. Then I have a class human, my class name. So I will try to directly call my human.sleep, right? So I got human is sleeping. Then like in previous example, I tried to create an object of class human, right? So then an object is created. Then as per my logic, the human is a blueprint. Arun is my object. So human, if human can sleep, then Arun can also sleep, right? Then since he is a human. So I will try to invoke the sleep method with the Arun object. So then what you can see, it gives me an error telling me that sleep takes 0 positional arguments, but 1 was given. As you can see here, I didn't give any arguments here. It is 0. But the interpreter is telling me that you gave 1 argument, but the definition inside the class is not there. It is accepting only a single argument. So then I'll tell you what it is. So whenever we are calling in class instance method, so it is basically passing a pointer to the object of Arun itself. So even though I am calling Arun.sleep without any arguments, the interpreter will pass the object Arun inside this function. So at this point, if I see, it is calling like def sleep of Arun, and inside such a function is not defined here. So that is why this is giving an error. So now we will see how we can correct this. So that is what is called using a self argument. So self argument means that when I give within my brackets self argument, that should be my first argument in the class, first parameter in the class. So then if I give parameterized arguments, self will always be my first parameter, and followed by I can have as many parameters as I want. Now what this does is, as we saw in this lab, the one argument that we give, that will be mapped to this whatever parameter we passed as self. Now if I call the same thing again and I call Arun.sleep, I got that human is sleeping, right? Then suppose I have another person, Arjun. So again I create an object corresponding to Arjun and I invoke the method sleep corresponding to Arjun. So Arjun also should be able to sleep, right? Since he is also human. So as you can see, human is sleeping. You got there also. Now we will try what happens when we call human.sleep. As you remember, just 3 steps back, my human.sleep worked. But as you can see here it is telling me sleep is taking one positional argument, but here we are providing nothing. So as you can see here, when we defined it without the self argument, it was working with the class and not with the objects. And now when we made it, when we linked it to an object using self argument, now I can call it only from an object. I cannot call it directly using the class name. So this difference you just keep in mind. We will come into details of that slightly later. Okay, so now one thing that is methods. Now second thing I told that encapsulation, it clubs together methods as well as data attributes. So let's define some attribute. So attribute is like variables only. So variables, but we are binding with an instance here. So I am similar to our name is equal to Arun, which we could have we would have just put as name equal to Arun. We want to bind it to my Arun object. So I will just use a dot operator here. I will tell it that Arun define a new variable, which since it is binded to an object is called a data member by the name, and then assign a value string value Arun to it. And then I will try to print it. So that gives me Arun's name, value of that attribute. Okay. Now let's see what did it do any change to my actual class. Or okay, as you can see, I created an Arun.name here variable inside the Arun object, but it in no way is related to the my class human. That I created an object in the object instance, a data member, but that was not linked. That is linked only to that particular object. That is not linked with the actual blueprint class. So that is what I want to highlight here. Now, say because of that property, this whatever we defined as Arun.name here is called a instance attribute. Now, similar to this, we can have class attribute also. That will be common to all objects across a class. So that we will see now. If you guys have any doubts, you can type it out in the chat window, or you want to give more examples or repeat some portion, you can always tell, because sometimes I may become a bit fast. That you can always interrupt. So okay, so class attributes and instance attributes. So similar to our Arun.name, suppose that name variable I am defining inside the human class itself. So now we are assuming that this will be applicable to all the objects which we create of the class Arun, right? And for this thing to be more interactive, inside this sleep function, I will try to put the name variable. Okay, so these two changes I made in the blueprint class that we had earlier. So let's run this and see. Okay, so I did not create the object. Now I will go to create the object, same as last time. I will create an object of type human and name it as Arun. Then I will print out Arun's name and the class human, and the name of both I will try to print. And both places, as you can see, as we expected, I am getting human. Now let's see what will happen. As we already see, human.sleep will not work, right? Arun.sleep worked earlier. What will happen now? So as you can see here, when I call here, it is telling me name is not defined. So as you can see, I cannot a class variable I have defined directly, but inside an instance method, I cannot call it directly. So that is the lesson you get from this, right? So then let's see how you can modify this so that we can overcome that problem. So that how we can do is in the name, we can modify it so that to define the class. So I know that from this point that a human.name will give me the name, correct name for the class instance. So that thing I can use here. So I can print that human.name. I will try to see whether this thing works. The same example as previous time. I will try to see whether my problem is solved. Okay, I got a printout, but now what's the problem? This is like as we saw in Arjun problem. For whatever person, it will be telling that human is sleeping. Suppose I want to add one more level. I want to tell the name of the person and tell that that person is sleeping. Right. So then let's see. I am again defining my instance attribute called name. I am naming it as Arun. But as you can see earlier, this used to create an instance attribute. But this time the class is already having a attribute called name. So basically, I am not creating an object attribute here. I am like overriding the class attribute associated with the object arrow. So I am renaming. Okay, you don't worry about those much details. You can tell that I am that human name. I am replacing with the name that I want, which is Arun. And then I will just run the same thing once again. Previous block that we run. So as you can see here, Arun.name, I got Arun. Human.name, I didn't change anything, so I got human. And when I run Arun.sleep, I got human is sleeping. Right. So, but I wanted Arun is sleeping here, right? So suppose human is coming from human.name that we know. And we want to print Arun is sleeping, right? So one way I can do this is I can change the class attribute itself to Arun. So that way when I print that, it should give me Arun is sleeping, right? You guys are with me, right, till now? Okay, now let's see what happens with our object Arjun. So now as you can see, this is not what I want, right? So I created now new object called human. And then I tried to print Arjun.name, human.name and Arjun.sleep. But as you can see, it is telling me that Arjun, that whatever human.name was set as human, that got changed to Arjun here. Now, whatever a new instance I create, it will be linked to that value called Arjun. But this is not what I want, right? I want it to be Arjun here. And if I change here again Arjun, then again it will change for other classes also. So I cannot, this is not a viable approach for me to. For some things I can use class attribute. For a thing like this, I need like instance attribute itself. So let's see how we can create an instance attribute. So let's try. We saw earlier that in methods that if I use a self dot thing, I can directly make use of a access the object instance, right? So let's try that here. So what happened here? So it worked with our methods, but it is not working with our attributes. And what are it is giving? It is telling me that self is not defined. So as you can see at this level in the class, my self variable which I use to access the object instance is not available. So that is why I cannot define like this. So then I will have to find some other options. So that option is called a instance method, which is called init, or also called as constructor. Sorry for the typo. What's a constructor? A constructor is basically something that will get called every time you create an object. So as you can see, the constructor for Python classes is called, it is 2 underscores here, underscore init, again 2 underscores. We will come to more methods like this later. So as you can see, it is also a instance function, so I can just define it with a single parameter self. But here, since we want our name variable to be linked with this, I create an additional parameter called name. And then now I define, similar to what we saw earlier, self.name, an object attribute that I define it as a equal to this parameter, whichever is coming passed into the thing. So what happens with the constructor is that every time an object is created, whatever is passed along with that object will come into. I will just show how it is passed. Now then again, I am not modifying my sleep function. It is same as previous. So constructor is a type of subroutine of object-oriented programming, and it is used to assign values to data members when an object is created inside a class. And the init function may not the point that we have 2 underscores before and after the function name. It is used as a constructor in Python in almost every time we create an object. And when we come later to polymorphism, we can see that this is much further used. Now suppose I try to print the earlier I had a class instance, I was able to print human.name. Now I changed that to an instance attribute. But my class is earlier human is not over. I did not run this in, right? So it is still valid. So that's why it printed the Arun. So let me run this. Okay, now when I run that, what I will get that the class human has no attribute name. This is expected, right? Since we moved it from an object attribute, class attribute to an object attribute. Now let's try to create Arun, an object of class human, and I am passing as an argument here the name of the human, which is Arun. So this is how we pass constructor arguments. So when I pass something here, that will automatically call the underscore init underscore that function in the class, and it will do whatever is told inside it. Now when I run this, what I will get, it will tell me that okay, the class person Arun object's name is Arun. So now again, let's see same thing. No modifications. We want him to sleep, right? So now I want Arun. I am not assigning any name to that. So by default, I have given this is an example just to show that I can pass a default argument here, similar to whatever we saw in our function section. So if I don't pass any argument here, the name will be by default human. And if I pass some argument, that will be assigned to the name variable of that object. So here I am creating an object Arun without passing any arguments. So his name will be human. Then I am creating an object Arjun and I am passing the name Arjun. So let's see what each will contain. Right. So as I told, Arjun.name will contain Arjun, Arun.name will contain human. And when I am now able to call both Arjun.sleep as well as Arun.sleep. And in Arjun.sleep, I got Arjun is sleeping, and in Arun.sleep, I got human is sleeping. Because as you can see, we did not pass the name here. Now again, similar to what we did for instance attribute, we can change the value for the attribute name to Arun. Then if I try to print Arun.sleep, okay, now our first objective is done, right? So I can create n objects, whatever be the n objects of type human, and I can assign whatever name I want to that, and I can call a method called sleep. So that will print out, give a printout that that person is sleeping. So that way, this is one of the most non-trivial class example that we can think about for this particular problem statement. It has a class, it has an object. Once we create an object, it has an attribute, it has a method. So this is like the base class we will build upon further. So now I will go into more details for the double underscore method that we saw. So basically there is a term. This is not a dictionary word. This stands for double underscore. This is commonly, if you see some Python tutorials and all, you will see it as dunder variables. So that is what they commonly call it. It is basically double underscore before and after the function name. This, some places you will also see the references magic methods. So these are methods having two prefix and suffix underscores. And these are commonly used for operator overloading, and similar to init, you have n number of other functions which operate similar to this. Okay, so basically I have given some links here which give additional details on these things. You can go through that if you are interested. Okay, so now we saw in some earlier class, I think, about the dir function which will list all the related things to an object. So as you can see here, the human class that we created, we didn't define anything, but as we saw earlier, it is inheriting from the object class. So that itself is containing so many double underscore methods. So details of all these you can, if you want, you can get using the links that I have given here. And then if you see some Python codes, you will see things like if underscore name underscore equal to, and again within quotes with double underscore main. So things like that you will have seen in many Python modules, codes and all if you have seen. So if you want to go into more details, I provided a link here. Okay, that does not cover our current topic, so I will not go into that detail here. Okay, so we will go into the next topic, public, protected and private attributes. So now we saw I can define a attribute called name. So now we will see, because I will first tell what these terms means: public, protected, private. So this is like common to object-oriented programming when I want to control the access to my variables. So public access means that anybody should be, or anybody can access those variables. Like protected means that there should be some privilege level associated with my attribute, so that it should not be accessible to everyone. I need to be able to define who has access to it. And private means that nobody outside my class will be able to access that. Only the methods defined inside that class will be able to use that. So private is like the most restrictive, protected is less restrictive than that, and public is like the most relaxed thing. It is accessible to everyone. So you can just go through that link also. So basically Python, if you see C++ and all there, Java and all there, you can define an attribute as public, private, protected with the keywords. But Python in the strict sense does not implement public, protected and private, but there are some hacks with which you can implement that to make your code work. And it will behave similar to those things, but not exactly in the way that I told. So okay, let's see 2-3 examples. So first I will just have 3 variable names here. So same constructor that we had earlier. So I am defining 3 methods inside this. So 3 attributes. So as you can see here, I am having name, then phone number, ID. So as you can see, I have put a single underscore before phone number, and I have put 2 underscores before ID. So why this is? Because protected my phone number, right? So I want my phone number to be available to only people whom I trust, right? And my ID is like a confidential document. I want my ID only with me. I don't want anybody else to have access to my ID. So that is what it means, like single underscore, 2 underscores. If I define an attribute with 1 underscore, it is equivalent to an protected. And if I do it with 2 underscores, it is equivalent to a private attribute. Not exactly, I will tell why it is. Then there is a like underscore methods. If you can see, there is a method called a string, which will give me like the string representation of this class. When I call this object with a print, this will come. So there I am trying to print all these 3: self.name, phone number and ID. And I am defining a function called a change. So where I want to change all these. So all these 3 are defined as strings here. So I am trying to change it. I will tell here that okay, public attributes can be changed. So basically the all 3 values I am trying to change, and I will see whether this will work or not, right? So you can just tell our chat, what do you expect? Whether I will be able to change public, private, protected, everything using my change function, or only public will work, or only public and protected will work, or none will work. Any comments? Okay, so we will just run this cell. Okay, now again I am using my same examples. I am defining a object called Arun, which is of class human, and I am trying to print Arun. So now it will give me, print will give me whatever is inside this underscore double underscore string str. So that was self.name with a new line, again phone number and self.id. So I got all these. So my I was able to access all these 3 variables for printing from an object of this class, right? So then so that way I saw that public, private and protected attributes can be accessed by methods defined inside that is instance methods. Now let's move further. I try to change that. So let's see what happens. So as you can see, after change, I again called print. So as you can see, all 3 values got updated to whatever I had given inside the change function. So that means that using an instance method, I can change my public, private and protected. That is like expected only, right? Because anyway, even though I am defining public, private, protected, I should be able to change that. I need to, if I have an Aadhaar, then I should be able to update my details in my Aadhaar, right? So that is what do you mean by this? Now let's see somebody outside the class. That is from the current instance, I am trying to call these variables name directly. So I will try to call name, phone number and ID of Arun directly, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, Arun.name got printed, Arun.phone number got printed, whereas for Arun__ID, I got an error like human object has no attribute ID. So this is what I told earlier, like it is implemented as a private variable. So as you can see here, protected variable, I was able to access. So that is why I told earlier, like this is not like strict public private protected. So I need to control when I write my code, I need to control my access. I should not like use protected or private variables outside. Anyway, private I cannot use. Protected variables I should restrict to whatever, wherever I trust. I should not allow third parties to use that. Only when writing API calls or something only I should use that. So that is what the difference in protected implementation. Then again, one more thing is there that I'll come later. Even though I have told like private is not accessible, there is some hack with which you can actually access the private variables attributes. I will tell that, but you are not supposed to use that. But there may come situations like suppose you want to modify TensorFlow, you are implementing some machine learning algorithm and you want to modify some parameter in some inner layer or something. Then at that point you may need to like modify a private attributes and all. So that time you can make use of these. In our normal codes that and all that we write, it will not be, it should not be used. The default. So now let's see. Now again, now from here I saw that my name and phone number are accessible, but my ID is not accessible. Then suppose I try to assign values to all these. So for my Arun object, I try to assign values corresponding to something. Name I give as Arun, phone number I give a dummy number, ID number I give a dummy number. Then let's see what happens. And then now I am trying to print Arun. So it is telling me that my public and protected variable got updated. But whatever I gave as __ ID here, that was not getting updated. I got whatever was previously there. Private attribute can be changed by instance method. Whatever value was there previously, that only I got at this point. Okay, but then here we didn't get any error here, right? __ ID when I assign some value, I didn't. Then if this should have been successful, right? I shouldn't have, else I should have got an error here. So let's see what happened to my Arun.__ ID. There, if you see, I have the value which I assigned here. So then that is confusing, right? So just now we told like __ is private. Then here I was not able to access that. Then I assigned a value using __. But again, that does not got reflected in my actual object. But again, when I try to print that, that is there. So this is something that we will come slightly 2 lines below. So let's see. Let's try to change that. So now again, I try to change that. Here I put it ABCD something. Here I again try to change that to hello one. So here again, as you can see, print Arun._ID gave me hello one only. Whereas my Arun, in that it is still the old value. It is not getting updated. Okay. So this is some concept called name mangling in Python. This that is, the private variables are internally treated like variables name is not like __ ID. That is like underscore class name followed by the name of the private variable. So this way I can access that, right? Private attribute can be changed. So I got that value. Now let's say I try to change that value with the name angled ID. So then as you can see, I can assign hello 1, 2, 3 here. But as we saw earlier, if you see a C++ or Java program, you will not be able to do this because there the public private protected thing is very strict. But here, as Python does not implement the public private protected in the that much a restrictive way. That is why even private variable there is some way to, you can bypass the normal way and access that. So, but okay, as I told earlier, this you should not protected and private, you should not try to access in your normal code. Okay, now we saw like public private protected. So I told like we will not be able to assign values for that from outside my class. So then suppose then I need to have some mechanism with which I can access the value, or I can give values to it, which is like more elegant than this name angling approach, right? So for that purpose only, we use what is called setters and getters. So that is basically slightly advanced. So I have given a link here, so you can go through that if you're interested. So basically it is like to access attributes, you can make use of three things. One is setter and getter methods. Second one is something called a property function. Third one is called a property decorator. So you can just be aware of this. And if you are interested, you can go through this link. So it has the details of implementation. Since it is like slightly advanced compared to what we are discussing and not required for our course, I will not cover this here. Then I will come to next important thing, which is called instance, class, and static methods. So this is, I think, part of our modules also. So I'll just spend some time on that. So basically one link is given here also, you can go through. So basically here, as you can see, I have just put an at the rate of class method before my function definition. And instead of the self I had earlier, I changed it to class CLS. So now let's see why it is done and all. I will not go into details because we just need to see the implementations. Because from the name itself and how it is getting implemented. So implementation details and all, if you are interested, you can go through this particular link. So basically I have defined a class. You can see the changes. I have used at the rate decorator. This is called a decorator in Python. So I have used a class method decorator, and here self I modified by CLS. So let's see what happens. And now again my same example as previous, I will ask the human to sleep. Then I will create an object of class human with the name Arun. Then and I will ask Arun to sleep. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, both places I got that human is sleeping. So basically what happens here is, instead of accepting a self parameter, once I define it using a decorator called class method, it will take a CLS parameter that points to the class and not to the object instance when the method is called. And okay, the name that we use to self, CLS, etc. You can use any name there, even an underscore or double underscore or triple underscore, or you can even have names like underscore object underscore class. Whatever names you want, you just need to be using the same names throughout. It is only convention that we are using self and CLS as names here. Then now let's see with this definition of class method, let's try to build a more complex class method. So here, like our earlier thing, I define a, what is this? Is this a class attribute or an instance attribute? Okay, I have defined it within the class, right? So this scope is class. So this will be my class attribute. So then inside my class method, I am trying to access that. I am trying to print it. I have defined as hello initially, then I am trying to print that hello. Then I am changing the value of that. Then again, I am trying to print that, and I will see whether it will work. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I have run the class. Then I will run this cells. As you can see, when I call human.sleep, it will give me hello. Then I'm after the sleep function, it from before and after I am getting printing. So right, so I got two prints, one corresponding to hello before this and one corresponding hello 1, 2, 3, 4 after this. Okay, so that worked with my class name. So okay, I am resetting that by using greeting equal to hello. Now again, I will try to create an object and I will try to see whether it works with my object arrow. So as you can see, again, it works the same way with my object also. So as you can see, an object as well as the class can access the value of a that class attribute, and both were able to change that. Now let's modify it slightly further, like what I wanted earlier, that I want the name of the person to be printed along with this. So for that, what we wanted, we want the same thing. We want to append the self.name also here. So let's just see that I am using the constructor from previous example. And now I am defining Arun.sleep. I am defining a human with name Arun, and I am calling Arun.sleep. So can somebody tell me what will be the output, whether it will work or not? Yes or no? You can just try out in the chat whether it will work or not. What do you think? What I will get, whether it will work or it will not work? Any options? Okay, let's see. Okay, so as you can see, it got error at the first line itself. Human.sleep itself did not work. And the error it is telling is in this line, class.greeting self.name, the name self is not defined. That is correct only, right? Because I am passing a class to my class method. I am not passing my instance method. Only when I pass an instance method, I will get the name corresponding to instance. So I need to modify that, right? So I need to use an instance method that we saw earlier, similar to that. So with a class method, we cannot implement that printing Arun is sleeping, Arjun is sleeping, that kind of thing. Now coming to the second thing, which is called a static method. This is similar to class method we saw. Same way decorator called a static method is used. But as you can see here, I am not passing class or self argument here. But I can have any number of other parameters, and this is printing sleep. Now let's try to same example, human Arun sleep, and it will give me output in all cases. But as you can see, I don't pass anything here, either the class or the self. So I can neither access my instance attribute nor class attribute. So this is just like I can use this as a placeholder for my functions. So static methods can neither access the object instance state nor the class state, and they work like regular functions only, but belong to class namespace. So I can like use the class to structure my all my static methods inside a class that way, like providing a namespace kind of thing. And static methods are restricted in the way they can access the data. Just like we told, they don't have access to instance attributes or class attributes. So we'll just see that with an example, same thing that we saw earlier. We will just see whether it is able to access. And if you see, you will get an error similar to what we saw earlier. Here, same example, if you try replacing the class method by static method, here class as well as self is not defined. So that way you can see that it is not able to access that.